Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Super ShowDown review. And Super ShowDown was from the King Abdullah International Stadium in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And before I start the review, if you guys haven't checked out the previous video that I uploaded earlier this morning I did a little movie hunting video where I went to the Salvation Army, looked for, DVDs, they're used DVDs, and I got one, and that was the Hardball film with Keanu Reeves. I've been wanting to check it out for a while. I heard mixed things about it, so I bought that. And the Salvation Army, when I went there, it's like 15 minutes away from my house by train, by the Staten Island Railroad. So went there. If you guys haven't seen it, haven't seen the movie hunter video, definitely check it out. And let me know if you want me to do more of these movie hunting videos. I'll be gladly to do them, whenever I have the time. But on to the Super ShowDown review. What do I think of this show? This show, to me, was a waste of time. It was long, and it felt like a glorified house show, in my opinion. That's all this show was a glorified house show. This was WrestleMania 2.0, but in Saudi Arabia. So let's get on with the review. So we had a match that was on the Kickoff show. It was the Usos versus the Revival tag team match. Now, this was okay. Usos were enjoyable here, and they ended up winning the match. They both ended up hitting super kicks to Dash Wilder to score the win. So the Usos end up winning the match. All in all, it was an okay match. Then we had the pay-per-view opened with the Universal Championship match. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. This was a boring match, in my opinion. Very, very boring match. Seth Rollins ended up retaining the Universal Championship with a roll-up to Corbin because Corbin was busy arguing with the referee. So that led to Seth Rollins rolling up Corbin, scoring the win, and retaining the Universal Championship. Then yet after the match, Corbin ends up hitting the End of Days on Seth Rollins. And then we get Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's music hits, and he came out with Paul Heyman, of course, and also a referee. He had a chair in hand, and this is where it makes Brock Lesnar look stupid for not cashing in the briefcase on Raw this past Monday night, where he was saying to Paul Heyman, because Heyman was telling Lesnar, "Oh, cash it in," and then Lesnar goes, "Friday." Then today comes, and he cashes in the briefcase, but the match never got underway. Seth Rollins ended up blowing Lesnar. Seth ends up taking the chair that Lesnar had, hits Lesnar with it, and hit him quite a few times with the chair. This was retaliation for what Lesnar did on Raw with Seth, where he was just hitting chair shots to Seth and cutting, making Seth bleed on his shoulder. then we see Seth end up hitting the curb stomp to Lesnar on the briefcase. That was basically it. The match never got underway. Makes Lesnar look so fucking stupid that he couldn't cash it in on Monday and had to wait till today. Look what happened. I knew it. I knew that there was not going to be a cash in today at the pay-per-view. So it was stupid. It was dumb. Plus, like I said, Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin, boring match. Then we had Finn Balor versus Andrade Cien Almas for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a decent match. This was a very enjoyable match. This is probably the best match on the card, on the Super ShowDown card, in my opinion. It was just very entertaining. Balor came out as the Demon, which was cool. Had a really cool entrance, and it was awesome. Both these guys worked well in the ring, I thought, and the match kept me entertained from beginning to end. But Balor ended up getting the win. He ended up hitting the coup de grace on Andrade. So Finn Balor ends up winning the match, retaining the Intercontinental Championship. All in all, it was a decent match. It was a very enjoyable match. Probably the best match on the card. So definitely a very entertaining match between the both of them. And both these guys worked so well in the ring. Then we had Byron Saxton. He was interviewing the New Day, Kofi, and Xavier. And they talk about how Kofi is more than a champion. And that Kofi is a hero. And that he's going to retain the WWE Championship. So it was pretty much a short little interview with them. Then we have Shane McMahon versus Roman Reigns. What can I say about this match? This match, did not even care for it. You had Drew McIntyre out there. And he saw Shane do the horrible spear. He ended up spearing Roman again, which looked terrible. And you had at the end of the match, McIntyre end up hitting the Claymore to Roman. And that led to Shane end up pinning Roman. So Shane ends up winning the match. Thanks to Drew McIntyre. Then you had at the end of the match, you had Shane on the back of Drew McIntyre while they were celebrating. But we have to say, during the show, you had fireworks go off. You had the stage looking like WrestleMania stage. Like I said, this is WrestleMania 2.0, but in Saudi Arabia. They treated it like it was a WrestleMania. So Shane McMahon versus Roman Reigns. Did not care for this match. This was a who gives a shit match. Do I care about this rivalry? No. Then we had another waste of a match. 3-on-1 handicap match. Lars Sullivan versus the Lucha House Party. Grand Metalik, Lince Dorado, Kalisto. Waste of time. Waste of a match. Lars Sullivan ends up getting the win by disqualification because Lucha House Party end up taking down Lars Sullivan, all like three of them. Then after the match was called, you saw the Lucha House Party. They were continuing their beatdown on Lars. Grand Metalik hits his elbow drop. They leave Lars Sullivan lying there. And we had body drops. Lars ends up body dropping Grand Metalik, runs Kalisto over, and pretty much that was basically what happened. But waste of a match. It was a waste of time. Then you have Randy Orton versus Triple H. This match was okay. This match was decent to me, in my opinion. The rivalry that Randy Orton and Triple H had, years ago. They had a great feud together years back. But my main problem with this match was this match dragged on and on and on. It was like never ending. I'd say it went on for maybe 20, 25 minutes. You had Randy Orton laying out Triple H on the announce table. Triple H went back first on the announce table. And towards the end of the match, Randy Orton ended up hitting the RKO to Triple H. Randy Orton ended up pinning Triple H and winning, so Randy Orton wins. You had a point where Triple H ended up pedigreeing Orton. Orton kicked out of it. But Randy Orton wins the match. Decent match, but it dragged, in my opinion. That was the only problem that I had with the match. It was that it dragged on and on. Then you have Baron Corbin backstage. He was complaining to Byron Saxton about his loss against Seth Rollins. He was blaming, the referee in that match. Whatever. And he asks Byron, what's he gonna do about it? And Corbin orders Byron Saxton to go get someone who can actually do something about it. Okay. It was whatever. Oh my God. Next match, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Fucking boring. This match was so fucking boring that I almost passed out. I almost fell asleep during this match. That's how boring it was. Braun Strowman ended up beating Bobby Lashley, running power slam to Lashley. That was it. Braun Strowman wins. Boring match. There you got Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship. This match, I'd say, it was a waste of time. This was a waste of time. Kofi and Dolph was just here for, the paycheck, get that Saudi money. I mean, what was there for Dolph, to do here? Always complaining, it should have been me. It should have been me who won the WWE Championship. It should have been me who who should have had a WrestleMania, match. That's all it was. And then you had on SmackDown, video package after video package that looked like a talk show, between the both of them. I was like, am I watching SmackDown or am I watching Maury? But match was a complete waste of time. And what more can I say? What more can I say about this match? Kofi wins the match. Trouble in Paradise on Dolph. You had Xavier distract Dolph, and that led to Kofi end up hitting the Trouble in Paradise. So Kofi wins the match, retains the WWE Championship. It was a waste of time. Then we have Byron Saxton. He was interviewing Dolph Ziggler backstage. Dolph says he thought Kofi was a hero who did it the right way. And he says, but now we all know that he's nothing but a coward. He says he doubles down on his talking point that he should be champion. And Dolph demands another match against Kofi. One-on-one. And that will be a steel cage match. So it was announced that in 2 weeks at Stomping Grounds, it would be Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston in a steel cage match. Okay, because I thought, Dolph was just back for, the Saudi show, for this show. I guess not. The match itself was a waste of time. Then we had the 50-man over the top rope battle royal, which is one of the biggest. They claim it's one of the biggest battle royals in WWE history. And we had the Singh brothers. We saw out there. We saw Carl Anderson, Humberto Carrillo, who was on 205 Live, very entertaining superstar in the ring. Yeah, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Curtis Axel, No Way Jose. I saw out of the blue, Buddy Murphy's here. Yeah, remember when they announced that Buddy Murphy was coming to SmackDown and WWE ended up forgetting? Yeah, Buddy Murphy was in this. 50-man battle royal. We also saw Tony Nese, Mustafa Ali was here. Matt Hardy. You had Heavy Machinery, the Viking Raiders, which they've been off TV for like 3 weeks, or the War Raiders, as I would call them. And you had AOP, Authors of Pain, AOP. They made their return in this battle royal. I think it was Razor. Or one of them, they had an injury, and so they made their return for this battle royal. And you had Elias in there. Titus O'Neil, which he didn't slip under the ring, just like last year at the Greatest Royal Rumble, where it was funny, but WWE ended up killing that quickly by playing it over and over and over again, and not being funny anymore. And the last part of this over-the-top battle royal was it came down to Elias and Mansoor, who was from NXT. He's an NXT star. He ends up hitting a super kick to Elias, and then Elias ends up going over the top rope, back body drop over the top rope, and Mansoor wins the 50-man battle royal. And the reason why they did this is because this is in Mansoor's country. So that's the reason why WWE gave the win to Mansoor. And after the match, after the battle royal, Byron ended up interviewing him and winning the battle royal. Mansoor, he says, he doesn't have the words to describe how important this is to him and to us, meaning the Saudi Arabia fans. He says 1 year ago, he stood here in this ring, in the Greatest Royal Rumble. And he stood in the ring as a prospect. And he said tonight, his dream came true. So, and, the crowd, the Saudi Arabian crowd, they were really jumping for joy when Mansoor won the Battle Royal. But all in all, it was an okay Battle Royal. Although it did have some problems where some of the superstars were on the outside. But yeah, Mansoor wins the 50-man Battle Royal. And now we move on to the main event. Oh my god. Oh my god, was this match fucking terrible. This was a botch fest match. I couldn't believe it. This match was fucking depressing as hell. The main event was Undertaker versus Goldberg. My god. And it looked like you got these guys where this is 2019. And I said in my SmackDown and my Raw reviews, this dream match between Taker and Goldberg should have happened years ago. Like around 2003, 2004 when Goldberg first came into WWE in 2003. And if you remember at that time, he had that rivalry with The Rock. They faced off at Backlash. And that was a good match between Goldberg and The Rock. After that, after Goldberg and The Rock, I think that's where they should have done Goldberg and Undertaker. And then from there, they should have had. Then from there, they had they could have had Goldberg and Batista, which they did. So I think they should have did Undertaker and Goldberg then, and then have Goldberg move on to Batista. In that at that time back then. But he had Goldberg come out with his entrance, had the sparks go off, the pyro on the stage, where he's doing the like that. He had Taker have a pretty cool special entrance, which was cool. And one of the effects you saw like a spin-in, like a spinning cylinder, and then Taker ended up walking out. I thought that looked cool. But oh my god, the match itself, this was shit. This was a horrible match. Like I said, this was a botch fest match. As soon as the match starts, Undertaker and Goldberg, face to face. Goldberg does a yeah, and then Taker punches him. Goldberg spears Taker. Then Goldberg ends up spearing Taker again. You had a point where Goldberg ran right into the turnbuckles, busted open, and you had Goldberg do a failed suplex, which looked awful. He could have killed Taker there, and you had this angry face. Like Taker was pissed. You could tell it by the look on his face after this match that he was pissed, that the match didn't go how he probably wanted it to be. So Taker ended up winning the match. Choke slam to Goldberg. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Taker won the match. That was the match. I had to say the match lasted maybe like 10 minutes. Around there. So it was depressing seeing these two guys in the ring. At this point, I think, Taker, as much as, I respect Undertaker a whole lot ever since I was a kid, but I think it's time for Taker. It's time for him to retire. How much more can WWE let Taker go? please, retire Undertaker, please. I mean, he still looks good, but it's coming to that point. It's coming to that point. I think, you know, he should go into the Hall of Fame hopefully next year. Because what more can Taker do? What more can he do? So, but this match was shit. Match was shit. Garbage. A botch fest of a match. And fucking depressing. So, that's the Super ShowDown review. Complete waste of time of a show. Glorified house show. And it was WrestleMania 2.0, but in Saudi Arabia. But I forgot to mention, Triple H had a entrance where he came down. He was riding a motorcycle. You know, which that was cool. Oh, but yeah. Anyways, that's it for the Super ShowDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the review. Definitely, like I said earlier, check out my movie hunting video if you guys didn't have a chance to check it out. So, that's it for this video, and until next video, I'll see you all later.